Welcome to the Parenting Power Podcast, supporting parents with the real-life tools they need to raise the confident, interdependent people the world needs. Gail Bell and Julie Friedman-Smith interview experts who share their knowledge to assist parents in creating a home environment where kids can thrive.
Welcome to the Parenting Power Podcast. This is Julie Friedman-Smith.
And I'm Gail Bell.
I'll begin by telling you about our guest today. Chandra Crawford is a music-loving mountain girl born and raised in Canmore, Alberta, Canada. In 2005, along with her teammates, she started Fast and Female to meet the next generation of ski racers and inspire and be inspired. In 2006, Chandra won Olympic gold in cross-country skiing and captured the hearts of Canadians when she belted out the national anthem from the top step of the podium. In 2014, she retired from competitive ski racing after 3 Olympics and 13 years of international ski racing with the Canadian national team, where she visited the World Cup podium 7 times. She graduated from the University of Calgary in 2016 with her Master's in Business Administration, a degree that is really enhancing her ability to take Fast and Female to new levels. Welcome, Chandra.
Thanks for having me. Chandra, we're very excited to talk to you today to learn a little bit more about Fast and Female. And I'm just wondering, can you help us understand how and why you feel sport is so valuable for girls for resilience and life overall, really no matter what they end up pursuing in their lives?
I was so fortunate to grow up with great role models who drastically impacted the trajectory of my life and showed me through their own actions what it is to be strong, confident female. The benefits to young women and to all kids, to all people, of course, vast benefits of being physically active, but the endorphin pathways are amazing, what they do for us, what sport does for us physically, but the experiences of sport about failing and getting back up are what I'm most interested in, the grit, resilience, and mindset that sport gives young women.
Wow. Well, you often talk about confidence, not just confidence in sports, but how sports can bring children confidence in life. Can you share a bit about that with us?
I'm just starting my parenting journey. My daughter's 1.5 years old, but I understand. Thank you. I understand it, and I'm due with my second soon here, so a little out of breath. It's quite crazy. But I understand that from talking to parents, it is a big deal, the confidence issues affecting young women, the anxiety disorders and depression affecting young women, perfectionism stronger in girls, I understand, than boys. And I believe in the power of sport to give us the skills to be confident. You know, we're all born with whatever the nature canvas we get, but then the life experiences and neuroplasticity affect how we develop and grow so much. So I'm very fascinated in the second part of that, the nurture side, where we can grow skills. And in sport, I saw how confidence has techniques, has skills. A big one in sport, for example, would be using cue words and choosing your inner monologue to be empowering and supportive. Very basic, but very effective. Some of the things I learned in sport to go out there and do my best, regardless of, with so much uncertainty, with pressure. I believe in giving these skills to young women, and I use them in school, and I use them in my public speaking, and I find them very valuable. So I think our athletes have a lot to offer the next generation of female leaders on the confidence side.
That's great. I heard you mention when you fail in sports and you get yourself back up. I'm really pleased you brought that up, because Julie and I talk a lot about that in our coaching with parents. It's okay to let your kids fail, and they'll learn a lot about that. And when they realize they can pick themselves up, they're actually gaining confidence, correct? Do you feel the same way, I'm hearing?
I really do. I'm interested in how you see it playing out in families that you help. Is it a case of self-esteem and all the positive parent, verbiage that we give our kids, or overpraising, how that can have detrimental effects? I'm just reading about that mostly to understand it. But It seems pretty real that it can affect their feeling of inner strength. And my personal life experiences, the worst things that happened to me are the things I'm most grateful for. I grew the most through heartbreak or the coaches not believing in me or getting kicked off the A team. None of the good things that happened in my life, winning the Olympics or founding Fast and Female or, finding my husband and creating a family, all these things happened as a result of really the worst things that happened to me. I really came out the other side grateful for adversity, and that personal experience continues to sensitize me to how valuable resilience is. And sport gives us so many chances to fail. It's the main thing that happens out there, right? It's like it's not a walk in the park. And in terms of gender separation, I would have a program for boys and girls, but I read this great book, The Confidence Code, which really explained to me that girls are, to use athletic terms, they're winning at school. I understand there are more girls in universities now, and we're really good at school, but then once you finish school, the rules of life change, and it seems like resilience and coachability and teamwork, some of the things we get from sport leadership, are really valuable in real life outside of school.
Right. Well, we agree with you, and you keep using the word real, which Julie and I love, because, we need to make it a real world for our kids, and they need to know and feel calm that failing is part of that real life, and as you just shared with us, all those positive things that can come out of some failure, which, again, is real, and it happens to all of us. I'm a big stats girl, and the stats tell us that about 70 to 75% of girls are dropping out of organized sport by age 13, which must concern you, and I'm wondering if that stat had something to do with you working with your Fast and Female group.
Yes, absolutely. It was really visible to me as a 20-year-old on the ski team that there were fewer up-and-comers on the female side, because I felt so indebted to my role models. I wanted to do the same and pay it forward, meet the next generation. Wow. I can remember being 9 years old and meeting an Olympic medalist, and she wrote "Dream Big" on an autograph card for me, and how deeply that impacted me. I thought, oh my God, I'm on the national team now. I should do this for the next kids. And I could see that drop-off rate, and then learned, like you said, the stats are really disappointing, disheartening, and a disadvantage to females later in life.
And so as parents and teachers and adults in girls' lives, what can we do to really encourage our girls to continue in sports and to be involved in sports?
I love this part of the conversation when it shifts from, okay, we've identified the problem statement, to what are we going to do about it?
Yeah, that's really where the rubber hits the road, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like such a doer. I got impatient right away and just started Fast and Female before I even went to my first Olympics. I wanted to do something about it. So the top 3 reasons girls are dropping out of sport more than boys. Number 1, social belonging, lack of social belonging. Number 2, injuries. And number 3, lack of role models. The things we can do as parents are taking responsibility for the team culture, environment, dynamic, the fun, that first piece of social belonging. In the audience, Fast and Female is serving currently, because we're reaching girls who are already in sports. We're reaching girls who already have those opportunities. The financial barrier isn't the top barrier. That's where Fast and Female endeavors to change culture. But as a parent, here's a check-in for social belonging. How do you know if you're creating a good culture on the team? How do we parents and coaches, how do we adults know we're doing this well? One of the major markers is, are the girls hanging out outside of sport? Are they hanging out outside of practice? Are they going to movies? Are they celebrating birthdays? Are they making up cheers and secret handshakes and fist bumps that are inclusive for the whole group of girls, not just another tool for excluding some? Those are big markers. So if everyone listening thinks, okay, when was the last time we had a meal outside of practice and the girls wanted to go to a movie or have a sleepover or do something fun, that is a big marker.
That's really good.
But what's interesting is that around the age of 14 is where we see this general lack of social belonging among girls, kind of across the board. So that's never occurred to me before, how important that piece of it is. And what I think I hear you saying is that we can be really tuned into how do we support that. I don't know if at 14 we can force that to happen, but we can certainly support it in happening.
Right, good point. Like, to what extent is this even within our control? Because I, again, as a mom, say, okay, girls, party time. But I think a lot about my little sister, Rosanna, who was a major factor in creating Fast and Female. When she was 14, Rosanna, who's 4.5 years younger than me, looked like she was 21. It was crazy. She had womanly hips, and my friends were hitting on her. It was terrible. And I learned about social belonging for teenagers. In the context of my little sister, she could either get her social belonging feeling amongst her peer group at the parties on the weekends in Canmore, which were largely in the bush in our small town of Canmore, Alberta, or she could get her social belonging from within her ski team. And it became crystal clear to me, oh my gosh, these teenagers, if they can have that fun and I belong feeling in sports, wow, there are so many trickle-down benefits in terms of what they get exposed to and how their team years might go.
Fantastic. And then, so really, injury-wise, as parents, obviously we're doing what we can, but those things happen. And role models, you are certainly doing your part in that. Is there anything else that we can add in as the parents of these girls?
Those are the top things, and again, I have to come with a lot of humility that I had great experiences. I love sports. My parents were very chill. They didn't put any pressure on us, and I had a ball. And I even enjoyed high school. So I think my experience is maybe not representative of, and they didn't have social media. So I really want to come to the table with, I'm doing my best. I'm using evidence-based techniques for what we should be offering the girls at our events across Canada. If we can create the social belonging aspect, that's great. For injuries, we can ask ourselves, okay, how much do I know about the main injuries for girls? How much do I know about knee injuries? What have I listened to lately on podcasts or looked up to understand why girls have so many knee injuries and what we need to do about it and activate our glutes and our core and all the things we could do to help girls avoid knee injuries. Another big one is, what do I know about eating disorders? What do I understand about body image and fueling and how we create a good environment on the team? I think parents are the big linchpin in the system in terms of changing it. Coaches, I understand, have a ton of power. The coach is determining the schedule. They're telling the parents where it's at. But, we're the parents, and they were in charge of taking care of them. I can see. I hope I don't give the coaches too hard of a time, but I will stand up for, okay, we have to have positive role models. We have to have positive fueling practices. We have to educate the girls about whole foods instead of processed foods. We have to make it fun. We have to share a recipe. We have to cook together, all the things we can do to create a positive culture. I think each and every one of us has a lot we can do. And I want to empower all of us to take those steps, to take responsibility. I think a lot of coaches might say, oh, why do I have to do that? And coaches who are largely male might say, well, I don't really enjoy all of this feeling stuff. And the girls are all crying. And, yeah, that's your job. That's what you have to deal with. Do you want the results or not? Do you want a successful program or not? Or do you want them all to quit? And I get really disappointed. Sometimes coaches say, oh, Chandra, but this next group of girls, the 10 to 12-year-olds, we've got a bumper crop coming up. Yeah, but they're all going to quit at 13 like every other girl. The lemming effect, this drop-off, is just too strong. So I really encourage all of us to take responsibility and educate ourselves about the things that are affecting our girls. We're losing them.
And so success, I heard you say success, and what I guess I'm hearing here is that the definition of success may look like maintaining these girls or keeping these girls going forward in sport as opposed to the success of getting on the podium or winning the competition. It's a bigger picture
that is
focus.
Exactly it. That's my exact dream. I got to do the Olympics. It was great. The Olympics is a fun world event, but what I care so much more about is each girl and every hour she gets to play on that field. And she gets to learn that failure isn't fatal. And she placed 35th, but she learned, like I did, to not tie her self-worth to her results. And that's an ongoing practice. You know, very A-type. We're tied to our achievements and praise, and it totally makes sense. We're rewarded for the things we do societally, but certainly getting 35th when you wanted a medal will help with that. And I've gained a lot of perspective. I had to learn in sport to be objective. I had to learn to do what was in my control and learn what was not in my control. That was an incredible life skill that I wish for every man, woman, and child to have the opportunity to identify. So much in sport would be not in my control, you know, what the coaches are doing, what my teammates are doing, what the weather is doing, what this bus is late and this food is terrible and the skis aren't working. There's so many things. It was so valuable compared to, I would say, the school experience where you can really control things. You can study and succeed, and then the meritocracy kind of falls apart outside of school when you have to know people and network and figure out what is in your control and what is not in your control, and how many other factors there are to being successful. Certainly being resilient is really awesome in today's world. Yeah, I really wish the best for all these girls. I want them to stay in sport through their teams. That's our mission. Keeping girls healthy, happy, and active in sport through their teams. So when I meet a parent who tells me their 18-year-old is still playing volleyball, hey, way to go. That is a major accomplishment. I'm so happy for you guys. That's really what I wish for a lot of families, and that girls enjoy their experience.
Wow. Chandra, speaking with you today has just been so valuable, and you are so valuable to us, and we really encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. We're so glad that we can support your mission at least through this podcast, and we'll try to keep going. I know as a mom of kids that play sport and a girl who's 14 who's still engaged, awesome. I really listened and I really heard you today on how I can make a difference. And I'm going to make sure that I try to support that social side. So if we're at a tennis tournament in Edmonton, I can encourage everybody to go out for dinner together, right? Like that's one way.
I would be so happy to hear that, Gail. That would be huge because she won't lack for skills. She won't lack for instruction time or competition time or equipment. But if it falls out of favor because she isn't having fun, that would be a real shame because she's doing awesome and having great opportunities to build her resilience. And I'm so glad to hear that it continues to grow. My favorite book lately has been The Confidence Code by Katie Kay and Claire Shipman. It's a New York Times bestseller, The Confidence Code. It really explains, it's really, got the right amount of stuff in the bibliography, which I like to see. It's the science and art of self-assurance that really resonates for me and all the broad goals I have for women in society at large. But as a parent of a daughter, I'm excited about it.
Yes, we'll have to check that out for sure. Chandra, if listeners want to find out more information about you or from you, where is the best place for them to follow you?
We're all over social media at Fast and Female, and fastandfemale.com is where you can sign up for this beautiful monthly newsletter, and you won't miss out on the next event coming to your city. We had 30 across Canada last year. Our biggest and best one is in October in Calgary, if that works for you. But I know everyone has really committed schedules, but I really believe in showing these girls the Olympic role models, showing them the 6'4" rugby players and the 100-pound figure skaters in the sparkly costumes, and showing them there are lots of ways to be a girl. Don't be narrowly defined by the media, and pursue your dreams. Stay in sport.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Chandra.
Thank you for having me.